So my aim with all these podcasts was always to bring people who were different from people of our generation. Okay. And one of the main reasons that I found you interesting was because for me, from the amount of time I've been noticing you, from the amount of time that I've spent time with you over the past few years, you define sacrifice in the sense you know what to prioritize. I've always had this feeling that you know what to prioritize.
Except for studies, but
you, you know what to prioritize, and you know you're someone who doesn't really find joys in what other people of our age find. I've never
Yeah.
seen you, you know, hang out outside. Obviously, with the boys, it's different.
yeah.
But yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? Do you just not find dopamine releases in the normal distractions of life?
Yeah, I guess I'm just, brought up by a very old-fashioned family. Old-fashioned in the sense of not like any of the negatives of the old-fashioned, but with the positives of the oldfashioned. You know, brought up in that type of a household.
Old-fashioned in the sense they inculcated
And like my parents and all, and like my entire family, like including my grandparents, everyone, they're quite innocent
okay,
and simple.
cultured,
Yeah, you could say that.
cultured. Okay.
And like the kind of they are disciplined. Like I was thinking that's the wrong word, but they are quite disciplined, and none of them ever drink or smoke or anything. So
Okay.
I've been always brought up with the thing that that doesn't mean anything, or like that won't give me any satisfaction or such. So yeah, that's like
Have you ever been sort of tempted to just jump in these dopamine releases of the modern day?
no, like junk food is more than enough for me, to be honest. Cheesecake gives me more happiness than
Whatever the distractions
What
are.
do you mean? Yeah.
What's your favorite childhood memory? Like one instance that you can remember that you would live.
Like, unfortunately, my memory is bad.
That I know, yeah.
But like childhood, you mean like child or like
Let's talk about both. Let's talk child first.
child would be. So I was really close with like a Mallu family,
Okay.
and like every weekend barbecue at their place, and that contributed to me loving chicken and the other joys of life.
Yeah.
That yeah, so like that's the childhood thing, like always like
Spending
they were
time
really
with
nice
them.
people, and
Okay.
it makes you feel good when you're with genuine people,
Correct.
like it's a caring environment and all that.
Yeah.
So that's the early childhood, and then like anything like I started playing cricket very early, like 7 or 8.
So just
Like at the age of that.
you're an aspiring cricketer, if that's the right way to put it.
I mean, technically yeah, but so yeah, like most of my memories, special memories in my later childhood in cricket, and there's just like too many, man, as you know.
Is there any one like favorite cricket memory? Maybe like a cricketer that you met or a match that you went to that strikes your mind.
See, it's like I think one of the matches that I played myself, not like watching
Okay.
anyone else.
Okay.
Like it's more related to fun than in my head, more related to fun than like, oh shit, this guy's there.
Okay.
So it was just a friendly tournament, and it was just really poor cricket being played, and there are a lot of funny memories associated with that. And I was playing with my brother,
Okay.
and I was
Your
like,
brother was playing in the same team as you.
yeah, and
Was
he
it
was
leather ball or tennis ball?
the ball obviously. So like he was 19 at the time, and I was 13, and yeah, I can go on and on about that day, but as I've told you, it's a ground called Sheen.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like I have to discuss about that like at least once a day. So
You spoke about the element of fun,
yeah,
and I just wanted to know whether that element of fun, is that what brought you passion for this sport, or has that changed over the years as you've grown older and played high levels?
yeah. Like I said about my upbringing, so that's been a part of me. Like my first memories of life, there's cricket even in that. Like my parents always used to play. My brother was a professional. Even my dad used to play back in Kashmir. So it's always been a part of me growing up.
Okay.
And like every day, like as a kid, just playing with my dad, throwing balls, hitting balls. It was like I could never get enough of it, and I still feel like that. Like you feel like you never spend enough time on the field. like the sense of one enjoying it, and second, like you have to work hard and get better with both of those things combined. So yeah, and that has changed. Like obviously, like when you're playing very well, like it's like life is bright.
Life's good.
Yeah, and it's like it goes to like panic mode all of a sudden. It's like, oh, I'm
And
doing
it
this,
changes
nothing
very
happens. I'm
quickly,
doing that, nothing happens. Yeah,
It changes very quickly.
it takes one day,
Yeah.
like to go either way, from north to south or south to north.
And also because, do you think that if one bad performance, you start overthinking a lot, and that is the reason for such a drastic change into panic?
I mean, that's a part with every cricketer, and that's why
Correct.
that's a. See, it's just about experience. Like, I don't want to be the one saying this, but like, until very recently, it was like the graph was like a very upward sloping vertical graph, and in that you don't learn how to deal with a bad patch. Like you don't learn as in like from your own experiences to like have the mental strength, and that often like when like every peak also has a downfall. So in that you never realize the importance of having early failures or learning about the pressure situations.
I was just watching this reel the other day, and I don't know if you saw this, but this guy was saying when you're winning, you're not as good as you think you are. When you're losing, you're not as bad as you think you are.
Yeah,
I think that's so true.
So true. Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah.
Especially with cricket.
Especially with cricket, exactly.
Because it's a very long format game.
And it's just years of resilience.
Exactly. I agree completely.
Yeah. Okay. I obviously now we're close. We've been close for a long time, and you keep saying that there's a huge element of luck in the sport.
Yeah.
And I've, to be honest, I've never truly understood what luck really is.
Yeah.
Can you sort of try and explain what do you mean by luck is a huge factor in this game?
So like usually if I tell you like luck is a huge factor, you might think that I'm talking about or like if I'm batting, like there's a catch drop and then I go on to score runs.
That's what I would think luck
That's
is.
But the luck I mean is that like some guy got injured. Like for example, the state matches are going on and a guy gets injured in the Karnataka team, and then spin bowling all rounder, and that's the moment. That day I score a lot of runs, get a lot of wickets. Like this guy, he's good. Let's pick him.
Okay.
One is that. Second one is having good contacts. Like I don't even mean anything like any politic contacts. I just mean like for example you have you're a part of a good institution, which like you progress through the ranks, and by the end it is a good club or franchisee is what I mean.
Okay.
And luck, like right place right time basically is what I mean.
Right place right time.
Yeah, more than getting lucky in a performance. Right place right time is more important.
This is a very interesting question. Okay?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this and I thought you would have an interesting answer.
Let's
What's
see.
one piece of advice you would like to give, not your younger self, but you from just 1 year ago exactly on this day?
The funniest part is that every day, whether it's a good day or a bad day, with cricket or without cricket, I think to myself that yesterday, shit, I wish I did this. Like every day.
Is there an element of procrastination involved in that?
Not really, like related to studies, yeah, 100%.
That I think
Like I'm not the most focused
at all
in
levels.
studies,
Yeah.
which everyone knows. But yeah, like I guess.
If you could speak to Ansh for 1 minute, what's the day today?
This is very funny because I was thinking about this right now, like just before we started. And I would like to tell myself that you're not always right.
Interesting.
You're not always right.
Interesting.
And you're not always right, comma, because I don't want to say only one thing to myself, but you're not always
You
right.
have a minute, so
Yeah, sure. You're not always right, and it's easier said than done. This might be with context to myself, so it might be unrelatable, but yeah, it's my personal experience.
So those are two major lessons that you've learned over the past 1 year.
Like brought down to a very
obviously.
small conclusion. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me some? I want to talk a little bit about junior level cricket, the under 14s, under
sure.
12s, and all that. Can you tell me some things that, especially in India, the people don't know about? Like, let's say there's an aspiring young boy and an aspiring father who wants to push his son,
Yeah.
and they've recently shifted to India. Let's say Bangalore,
Yeah.
because that's where we're living right now.
Yeah.
What are some few things? What are few things that you tell them how do you go up the ranks, other than just having talent? What are few things that you would tell them?
You're talking about the parents that want to put their kids through, or just like a general audience?
I'm talking about parents who want to put their kids through.
You know, it's more like they should understand the system very early on. Like as soon as they come, they should. And then, luckily in Karnataka, especially Bangalore, because of for the number of people playing, like the competition, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like overtaking Mumbai at this point.
That's crazy, bro.
The number of people playing cricket. So like yeah, club cricket's really important, you know. And like more than that, it's the parents have to be patient and understand. I'm very blessed to have very understanding parents, not patients, and yeah, like most people don't have that. So parents should understand that, you know, just because you don't get it now, this could be with anything. Just because you don't get it now doesn't mean you can't get it ever. So like
Patience in the sense backing the
yeah,
son.
because even exactly.
Okay.
You know, because even me, like when I started, like my brother and my dad had been playing, so it was a bit easier for me. But
Then there's an element of understanding also.
yeah, but like the beginning for everyone, I think is just, you know, learning academies, and then, you know, eventually you get to the clubs, and then it's all about your performance. That's the most important thing. Performance is more important than anything in cricket, I would say.
Okay, so I want to add a few points to this. I think what I would tell that that father is that cricket is actually a pretty expensive sport.
Well,
More
in that
expensive
sense,
than
yeah.
you think.
Yeah, definitely.
And also it's I just feel like it's become more commercialized just because of the hype that it's getting over the past decades. I feel like in Sachin Tendulkar's time, cricket was very cheap. You could practice for longer hours with lesser money spent. Is that right?
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You know, but a majority of the people, and I might be wrong,
Hmm.
because I can only speak from my own experiences.
Yeah.
But if someone is suffering financially, then there are people that support, you know, as coaches and owners of academies even. Like they do support, and you know, obviously they can't support forever.
Yeah.
There has to be a
And do you think that they support you if they see something in you? So there should
definitely,
be
obviously, like that's obvious.
Who's your idol? Because I was reading about this, reading an article, and it says that if you truly like look up to someone, it says a lot about who you want to be.
Yeah.
Because you pick up things that other people don't pick up in that person. Who's your one idol?
I don't technically have an idol because it keeps changing. You know, you're inspired by one person or the other in many ways.
Yeah.
And there's always, you know, no one's perfect, so there's always flaws, pros and cons of everything. So like, but growing up, I was always a big fan of MS Dhoni.
That I know. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
What about him? What is there something about him that you noticed and other people don't talk about? I think everything that people talk about him.
Yeah, like now such a famous person is pretty much like everyone.
Yeah,
you know,
everyone knows.
Everything is common, but mostly like the discipline and hard work. You know, the will to keep moving forward and keep going, no matter how hard the situation gets to him. Yeah.
When I see you play, I always resonate you with this with Riyan Parag. I feel like you and him have like not a similar story, but I feel like you and him have a similar sort of. You guys bat very alike, like just technically.
Yeah.
I think you guys are very alike, bro. And hopefully you have the same career that he has.
Hopefully better.
Hopefully better.
Yeah.
He's doing well right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can follow that up. Okay. Let's move on to the next phase. I'm done with all these cricket questions. Okay. Perfect. Now, something that these people should know is that Ansh is a huge music fan. Over the years, you've recommended me some great songs, bro. Some great music you've recommended me over the years. And I know that you're a huge fan of Post Malone.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you the similar question to ask MS Dhoni, and I'm sure you'd have an answer to this. Why do you like Post Malone? Is it just purely music, or do you find something in his personality?
Like I was a big fan of his music. Like when I first heard him, or heard about him, and then slowly, like with social media, everything, you just see more and more of a person. And I think, like, obviously, I don't know him in person. I don't know Dhoni also in person, but wherever you see them, they seem like pretty nice people. That's one thing that draws me towards people a lot: kindness and treating everyone the same way. I think that's pretty
I
important.
feel like you have that quality a lot.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Okay.
And I like his music, so automatically draws me.
Since when have you
like,
been a Post Malone fan?
like
How does it been back in the day?
2018, 19.
Okay.
I was always not into like the boy band kids type of stuff. Like I was always into unique sounds, and it's some things are quite relatable. I think again music is also a subjective thing. What you might find ugly, others might find beautiful.
Obviously.
So
Yeah.
that too. And
I remember in 2018, 2019, those car rides back from those cricket matches,
Yeah.
we would blast Post Malone music all the way.
and bops.
What's your favorite song? What's your favorite Post Malone song? All-time favorite. If you had to choose one, which you could listen to for the rest of your life.
It keeps changing.
Okay.
Right now, my favorite song isn't even by him, but my favorite of his is "Take What You Want." I think it's called. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard it. I think you should
Let's make that happen.
listen to it.
Look at this. Let's compare.
Okay. In 5 years, I'm not gonna ask you a cliche question like where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, please.
But mentally in 5 years, what space would you like to be in? Would you like to be in like an ambitious mode of just drive, or would you like to be in more peace? and tranquility?
Everyone would want to be ambitious,
Yeah.
driven,
Yeah.
and passionate.
Yeah.
But this answer is also gonna sound cliche,
Yeah.
or may not be. But I want to be regretless. Like I shouldn't regret anything I do. Like,
Actually, a very good answer.
do everything wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think thing I've been a culprit of sometimes, most times.
I think a lot of people our age might or might not relate to this, but
Yeah.
I think you would have related to it a lot, and I have been to in the past few months. How do you react when you work hard and it doesn't pay off? And I'll tell
Happens
you,
a lot. So
I'll tell you why I ask you this question.
yeah,
It's because everyone talks about work hard, it's gonna pay off. Work hard is gonna pay off.
yeah.
And it happens to us a lot of times. No one talks about what happens when you work hard, it doesn't pay off. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I
on
mean,
this whole thing?
There's no use in just which I have done, which 99% of the people do, and you have to learn from that, from your own personal experiences. Just sit back and give excuses and
Yeah.
not focus on what needs to be done and what can't be, what's not in your hands. So when we realize, I think 3 important things: that we can't always be right, we can't focus on what's not in our hands, and we must focus on what's in our hands.
MS Dhoni said this so many times. Control the controllables.
Yeah, definitely. That's all you can do, and that's all you should focus on. And moving on, it's not easy to move on from a tough path sometimes, but eventually you have to learn to focus on the next big thing, or small thing, doesn't have to be big, but important thing. And
Yeah.
that's all I guess.
Whenever I've sort of had these doubts, I mean, obviously I'm 18 years old, so I don't know the right answer.
Yeah,
I'm just
same.
still trying to figure out everything in life. But I just feel like whenever that happens, I just tell myself, maybe you didn't work hard enough. Maybe.
That's something that I do, and like I said earlier, you just because you don't get it now doesn't mean you can't get it later. Which I'm a huge believer of that phrase.
So you're saying, so your thinking is that hard work that you've done is gonna pay off at some point in your life. Maybe not right now.
Yeah, or maybe you never know.
Maybe right now. Okay.
You never know. And I think it's more of a circle thing. When you get at least in my case, maybe it's like 2 semicircles together. It's like you're getting everything, and then versus this semicircle shows what you have worked for. And if this semicircle early on is like I'm getting everything and I've not worked for it, I think that misfires somehow, and this semicircle of the fruit of hard work hasn't been equal to the hard work, which I think will balance out again You know, if it can balance out once, it can balance it again. Quite an interesting way of putting it, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Well said. Obviously, now you won't know the right answer to this.
Yeah, I agree.
But I want to ask you, what are your sort of experiences and how do you differentiate between smart work and hard work? Very, very interesting question. A lot of people have different views on this.
Yeah, so like, in my case, like, the only thing I work hard is in cricket.
Yeah.
So in cricket, most of the like, for me, I'm a spinner, so I don't have. It's not like I'm putting my while bowling. I'm not putting my body through a huge workload. So in that, you know, it's just quantity will eventually increase the quality of your bowling. So in that, there's no smart work needed to be done. And in batting, it's the same thing. Same with fielding. So like overall in cricket, except the mental preparation side of it, I don't think you can work hard enough. Especially in my case.
Okay.
And yeah, a lot of people, you know, I think we should prioritize quality of preparation or practice, whatever, over quantity. Yeah.
That's very true.
Sometimes the quality that we're looking for in our preparation can be reached only with quantity, which is the case with cricket most of the times. So that's about it, yeah, from my side.
Okay, now I want to ask you something. If you don't feel like answering, don't answer it.
Sure.
What happens if you don't make it?
I think I'm going to give the worst answer ever because I've never thought about it. Like,
Yeah, sure.
you know, you can always, I've always thought, like, what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah.
But I've never thought of what I would do. So,
Yeah.
like, I genuinely don't know.
You don't need to
say.
answer what you would do.
Yeah.
Just sort of have you thought about your mental state and how you would
Yeah, the
react
thing
to
is,
something?
no matter how this year goes or the next year goes, I know there's a couple of years, even if nothing happens, is what I'm saying. Like, if it's the worst thing ever, you know, life is miserable type of thing, there's, I think, still 3, 4, 5 years that, you know, I'll keep soldiering on no matter what. So, yeah, like, that's a lot, like,
Yeah.
long period of time, so I'm
And
not,
I think it's fair to give you 4-5 years because you have played at a certain level
yeah.
before. So let's say there's a person who hasn't played any level before and he's
Yeah.
at your position and he says, I want to give myself 4-5 more years. Do you think
Yeah.
that's sensible? Because I've seen coaches say that
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, like, you know, like, there's two sides of it, like, you know, one is being realistic, and the second one is only you know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
It, like, even as a player, you have to be realistic.
Correct.
Like, if you see you're getting really good or you're getting better, and you know, it's in sports, it's often that sometimes your competition isn't as, the potential isn't as much as yours, but they're still doing better than you. If that's the case, you know, I think it makes sense to keep trying. If you're better than them, if you know, not even think that you can be better than them and then that you are better than them. So I think you get where I'm going with that.
Yeah. That's it. Is there any question that you would like to ask me, Ansh Aima? We've come to the
No, I
end of it almost.
Flipped it.
Hmm.
I didn't think of this, but
If you don't have any questions to ask me, it's okay.
no, I was thinking about this,
Yes.
but I'm just not able to remember.
Yeah, I don't think you think of me a lot, which is quite sad.
No, I don't think of questions to ask you.
What do you think of me?
What do I think of you?
Yeah, what do you think of me?
What does that mean?
Like, what are your thoughts on me?
Yeah, I think you're always yourself, which I like.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not, you know, a very particular guy,
Mm.
but you know, you like what you like and you stick with it. See, I like you as a person, obviously, that's why I'm a friend and all that.
Yeah.
I don't need to answer about that
Yeah.
as to why I like you or how I even like you.
Might get a little PG.
Definitely will. You know, like I said earlier, it's fun times that made our friendship.
That made our friendship, correct.
So like, you know, there's no magic to that, just good chemistry, I guess.
And that's something that I think all of the people that you're close to have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
A couple of people, but only a couple, but yeah.
Mm. I just want to say that thank you for coming. I've been asking you to do this for 2-3 months now,
I've been
and
waiting for this opportunity, which hasn't been,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and I don't think this is the last time we'll be doing a podcast. I feel like
I hope
this was
not.
sort of a short insight into your mind. I feel like there's many
Yeah.
more interesting aspects that I can explore
Sure.
based on this conversation. I had like a 50,000 follow-up questions. So
Same to you.
say, yeah. So definitely not the last time we'll be doing this.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Ansh Aima. Do you want to get paid? I don't have any money to pay you. I'm sorry.
You know, we can wait for that to come and then you pay me.
I don't think I'll ever get money based on the views that I get per video.
Think about what's in your hand.